This is Tim, host of the Ghost Hunts at Pythian Castle. I have a few questions for Tim. Hey Tim, I got a question. How long have you been given tours at this location?
Since 2007.
In all those years, have you had several encounters in this castle?
Many encounters.
What's the most common encounter that you've had here?
Certainly visual anomalies in photographs, be it orbs or light disturbances. You will hear a lot of things, especially if you're by yourself in the building. You'll hear footsteps. You'll hear doors open and shut. You'll hear things move. You'll see things out of the corner of your eye. Something over here, something over there.
Peripheral.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever encountered cold spots at this location?
Yeah, a couple of times. That's not something I encounter a whole lot, but it has happened a few times. Up on the stage in the theater, certainly one of the very first times I came to the castle. You could see your breath. It was so cold.
Have you also noticed any unusual smells, like perfumes and
Perfume and
things like that?
cigarettes in the stairwells.
Have you encountered anything that you could visually identify as human? A shadow figure?
Well, I was getting ready to ask if shadow figures counted. One time I've seen a shadow person. One and only time. It happened about a year or so ago. It was in July, and it was down in the dungeon area. Typically with a big group, you've been down in the dungeon, there's a door about that wide that you go through to the back room. And usually on a big group, you usually pop your head in there and make sure everyone's out before you move everybody on. And I was getting ready to do that. And from the door, I saw a black shadow figure lean out and lean right back in. And I decided that person was okay to leave her there, and I moved on. I just moved on down the road.
Have you had any encounters in the tunnel?
Yes, you will hear things in the tunnel. You will feel things in the tunnel. I personally don't like going in the tunnel. I usually make a big joke about it on the tour, but that's really to cover the fact that I just do not like to go into the tunnel at all.
Is it because you're claustrophobic?
No,
or
not at all.
is it because you've encountered something down there?
I have felt things down there. I have heard things down there. You will hear growling. You'll hear footsteps down there. And I just get a general feeling of unease. Like I'm not supposed to be in here. Don't mistake me. I don't think it's anything evil. I don't think there's anything evil in this place. Grumpy and territorial, that's different. Yeah.
But the room that's located behind the wall...
On the other side?
Yes.
I don't like that room.
Okay, I've had encounters in there, but...
I think I've been in that room once in 11 years.
So you've only gone in there once?
I don't like it.
Is it just because of the feel of it?
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't actually get to see it?
Nope. I just steer clear of that place. There's one of the cells downstairs in the gymnasium also that I do not like to go into. I've not seen anything in there. I've not heard anything in there. But the couple of times I've tried to go in, it just is almost a physical resistance, like walking into Jello. It's not a room I go into.
What about the room with the Japanese artwork?
Mm-hmm.
Have you had any encounters in there?
I have personally not. But one of those television shows, I want to say Ghost Lab, when they came out, they were setting up an EM pump. I didn't even know what this was until they explained it to me. Apparently it sends out static or something to try and amp up activity. Well, they turned this thing on, and they got an EVP while they were setting it up. And it literally said, "What is that?" And then while they were turning the machine on, all of a sudden, and I did hear this, boom, and it shook the whole building. I didn't know where it came from. It sounded like an explosion.
I haven't documented any activity on the rooms on the north side. If all the German cell, the Japanese cells on the south side, on the opposite side of that hallway, I haven't documented any activity.
Well, that's where that one cell that I don't like to go into. It's the first one, the door that goes up into the kitchen area.
Yes.
On the left side, that's the one that I don't like to go into. And I'll tell you another thing. There was, we was on a ghost tour. I had a bunch of people in the room, and they all had EMF detectors, and they all started going off, standing in a circle. And all of the pictures that were taken during that time are super, super fuzzy and grainy.
Now, what about the kitchen area that's downstairs?
Reportedly, one of our suicides happened in that room. William Rensenbrink, 1942, I believe, February 1942. Cut his own throat with a razor.
Any idea of why he did it?
I don't think he took his own life. I think someone probably...
It was a murder.
Well, statistically speaking, men, when they kill themselves, typically they'll hang themselves or shoot themselves. They don't often cut themselves. And when they do, it's almost always the wrists and
not the throat.
Neck, yeah.
No suicide note?
Not that I'm aware of.
Have you encountered anything in that kitchen area?
Yes. We had... there's lots of stories I can tell you. One of the first EVPs I ever caught was down there. It was whispering. It was a group of some high school kids and a few adults, and they were recording. And someone said, "Did you kill yourself?" And very softly, when we played it back, we heard, "Yes," like that. That was probably the first hardcore encounter I had in this building. Fast forward a few years, over the Halloween season, all of the TV networks like to come out here and do stories. It's just what you do, the ghost thing in Halloween. And this was a local news station. They sent a reporter and a cameraman out, and my job was to walk them through the building. And typically, when we take a tour, we go down the back stairs into the basement. Well, this time I had taken them down the front stairs into the basement, and we came up into that kitchen area, at the top of those steps. And I had looked at this gentleman, and keep in mind, I had one of these EMF detectors, and I said, "This is the room where one of our suicides happened." But as soon as I said suicide, I got to sue-lit, and that meter maxed out all the way over. And there's something interesting about this property. I do not understand what this means, but we've been told by the contractors that the property has an EMF reading of 0. I don't know what that means. Apparently it's significant. But whatever the signal was down there was strong enough that it maxed out that meter. And it was about that big around, about that tall, and stopped about that far off the ground.
On the main floor, I've noticed that the powder room, which is attached to the women's bathroom, is haunted. Have you encountered anything in that bathroom?
I don't often go into the women's room, so I can't tell you I personally had any experiences in there. But I know lots and lots of people have. They've seen a little girl in there. More than one person has had that encounter. The green room's behind the stage.
Yes.
Yeah. Lots of people have seen somebody in a dress in that north corner one.
Could you describe? I
have not personally had this experience. I'm only relaying what was told to me, so don't take this as gospel. It's just what was relayed to me. It's not a long flowing dress, and she's looking out the window in the northwest corner.
Does the dress happen to be black?
Or gray, dark color.
Now, Kiddies Room, have you had any activity in there?
Well, interesting you asked that, because I'm the one that gave it that room, the name that gave it that name. Petey is the little boy orphan spirit that we're told is up there. He has played with toys that are left for people up there. Although I'm told that there is another little boy up there. Don't know his name, but one of the sensitives that came through the castle said he gets very, very jealous that all we ever do is talk about Petey and don't ever talk about him. So I actually believe there are probably at least 2 young male spirits up there. I had some friends staying here back in 2010. The ladies that own the castle graciously let them stay there, and they're up in the Queen Suite, and every light bulb blew that night.
That's interesting.
Yes.
But only in the Queen Suite?
Only in the Queen Suite.
Well, appreciate it.
No problem.